Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be talking about Kaveh. We're gonna be playing his talents, his artifacts, his best weapons, and the teams where you play him, and nothing else to say. Let's get into the video. First thing first, let's start with the talents. Normal attack is pretty straightforward. You do 4 hits and you have a charge attack. Pretty standard ratios, so nothing else to comment here on the normal attacks. When you press D, you will deal AoE dendro damage, and it will scan dendro cores. If it finds dendro cores, it will explode immediately. This dendro cores. Pretty straightforward. It's decent on some situations, but I don't think it's really neat. The good point here is on the ultimate. Basically, the ultimate, there's a lot of tests. Oh, sorry guys. That's exactly what it does. It will do AoE dendro damage and it will make Kaveh normal attacks compared to dendro damage. This is super great, and all the dendro cores that you create on reactions, it will do additional dendro damage and increases Kaveh resistance to interaction. This effect can sell once Kaveh leaves the field. This is important because if you swap away, you won't be infused on dendro anymore. So you have to keep in mind that. It's important to know that Kaveh's role is to be an on-fielder dendro player, like for example a Haytham. It's exactly the same role as a Haytham. You play him as an on-fielder, he will be on the field all the time doing the damage, and he will have some characters that deal more damage with him. An example of the things that we will be talking about later on the video, you can play for example Chinkyu with Kuki Shinobu, Kaveh as the main carry on the field, and for example as 4 options you can play Yelan, or you can play another Electro or another Dendro like Nahida, or Dendro DMC or Yao Yao. These are examples that what you can play with him. You can also play on Nilou teams him. You will increase the dendro core boost damage bonus. If I don't remember it wrong, this applies to the core bonus of Nilou, so it's a pretty buff to Nilou, but you have to be careful to pop the reactions in the order correct. Okay, so for the passives are pretty straightforward. The first one is that when you do damage with dendro cores, like the 6, it will heal Kaveh at 300 of elemental mastery, and it can be triggered once 1.5 seconds. And in the other one, it's super good. This one, if you hit with Kaveh normal attack, charge and plunge attacks, the elemental mastery will increase 25, and this effect can be triggered 4 times and every 0.1 seconds, which it means it has almost no cooldown. You can trigger it 4 times, which means 100 more elemental mastery. It's super awesome. This one is super great because with the time you will do more damage with your reactions. Okay, for Constellations, the C1 it's pretty straightforward. When you press the E, dendro resistance and healing bonus will increase of 50% and 25% respectively. The C2 gives Kaveh a normal attack speed increase by 15% during the ultimate. The C3 it's more levels on the ultimate. The C5 it's more levels on the C4 is the dendro core from reaction of Kaveh. So if you trigger the dendro core, it will deal more damage basically. Okay, the C6 is pretty straightforward too, but it's a bit hard to understand. Basically, when you use the ultimate, you will unleash a light when the opponents are, and you will deal a 61.8% of Kaveh's attack as AoE dendro damage, and causing all the dendro cores within that AoE to explode immediately, and you will be able to trigger this effect every 3.0 seconds. This is really great because you will be spamming a lot of reactions and being able to explode all the dendro cores almost immediately. It's really good. Also for Nilou teams, this is kind of insane to be honest. And the C1, I also didn't mention it, but the C1 is really great for Nilou teams because you are very likely to die when you are playing Nilou teams. So yeah, the C1 makes you not to die that fast. Okay, so time for the weapons on Kaveh. Personally, I will play all the elemental mastery weapons. I know you can play some attack weapons, like for example Serpent Spine can be good, Black Leaf can be great, the Prototype Arcade can be great if you don't have the other options that I will mention, even the Luxurious Sea Lord if you did the event. But personally, I will go with Mahaira Aquamarine. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that perfectly. Rain Slasher or Millet Flower. Personally, since you will be always playing Kaveh with an Electro or an Hydro, I will probably go Rain Slasher. Rain Slasher is the best option on Kaveh because it gives you a lot of elemental mastery and increased damage to enemies affected by Hydro and Electro. So yeah, this is the best option that you can play on him. If you don't have the Rain Slasher, it's okay. You can play Melee Flower, which was free on the event of Mondstadt, or Mahaira Aquamarine, which is nice. It's a decent option. I personally will play Rain Slasher, later Makahari Aquamarine, then Melee Flower, and if your energy recharge is not enough, as always I recommend you go for Bonus and forget about energy recharge, because Bonus are amazing weapons, are super broken in the game, and you can play it on almost every character, Bonus weapons. So yeah, this is the tier list for the weapons. Personally, the C5 no, sorry, the 5 stars swords of the game, I don't think none of them is good on Kaveh personally. I think all of them are bad. If you want to play a 5-star option on Kaveh, personally I would put Wolf's Gravestone, but the other options are really bad, are way worse than the 4-star option. So personally I will go Rain Slasher as the best option, Mahamida Aquamarine as I told you, Melee Flower, and Favonius Graceford. And if you want, Wolf Gravestone can be great, even Serpent Spine if you don't have anything else. So yeah, this is the weapons for Kaveh. Let's get into the artifacts. For artifacts on Kaveh, what you want to play is, since we will probably on-field him and we'll be doing reactions, we can go 4 pieces Glided Dreams as the best option on him. You can also go, as I told you, always that I recommend Glided Dreams, you can go 4 pieces Flower of the Paradise Lost. But personally, I think Glided Dreams is better because we'll be playing him as an on-fielder, he will be triggering all the reactions, so he will do a lot of damage with this. You can also play, if you are solo dendro, which I don't really recommend it to you, but if you are solo dendro on any of your teams, you can go 4 pieces Devo Memories. It will be really good. And also you can do 2-piece combinations, like 2 pieces Glided Dreams, 2 pieces Devoot, 2 pieces Devoot, 2 pieces attack percent. But I think the best option is to go, if you want to go 2 pieces obviously, 2 pieces Devoot and 2 pieces Elemental Mastery, because it will give you at least Elemental Mastery and some Dendro damage. But personally, I will go 4 pieces Glided on him if you want to play him as a carry. That is what he's going to be, a main DPS in the field. So yeah, this is the artifacts. Let's get into substats and the main stats. So as I told you, if you want to play him on field, and even if you don't want to play him on field, here I will put Elemental Mastery in the Sands. On the Goblet I will put or Dendro damage bonus or Elemental Mastery, but don't go attack please, it's not worth. And on the Circlet I will rather get Crit Ray, Crit Damage or Elemental Mastery, which are the best substats and main stats on him. So yeah, this is the main stats. For substats, what we want to search? So you want to search Elemental Mastery, Crit Damage, Crit Rate, and if you need it, the energy recharge is good, and some attack planes. But mainly focus on crit rate, crit damage, and elemental mastery. If you don't have enough sands to get the ultimate all the time, consider putting here energy recharge sands. But if you have enough energy recharge substats, you can go with all the elemental mastery and you will deal a lot more damage. Okay, so let's start with the team section. For the team section, we will be imagine that Oral Haytham is Kaveh. So this first team I'm gonna talk about is Aggravate team. So you want to play another Dendro, like Nahida. You can play, for example, Yao Yao 2 instead of Nahida. So you have a more free-to-play friendly team. Fischl and Beidou. If you don't want to play Yao Yao, you can play Cookie Shinobu instead of Beidou, and Yao Yao you change it for Nahida, for example, or Dendro DMC, and you will have a pretty strong team. You can also change the second Electro for another Anemo unit. For example, you can play Sucrose, or even Kazuha can be great. So yeah, this is the Aggravate team. Let's get into another team. Okay, this is the next team. It's the Hyper Bloom, classic Hyper Bloom team. You can play Chinkyu, Yelan, Cookie, and you will do a lot of damage with the Dendro cores. You can also change Yelan for another Dendro unit, but I think this is the best version of Hyper Bloom team. So I'm pretty satisfied with this version. You have healing, you have damage, and you have a lot of output coming from Chinkyu plus Yelan damage. You can also change Cookie for Raiden, because the appliance of Raiden is a bit better, but yeah, Cookie is a bit good free-to-play option for every player, so yeah, that's why I always recommend Cookie. Okay, time for the Nilou Bloom team. This team is actually super great on our beloved Kaveh. I think it's gonna be a good addition for Nilou, because Hoyoverse is going full all in into our beloved Nilou, is getting her every day way better. So this team is actually super insane, and Kaveh is a good replacement if you don't have a good 5-star unit of dendro. For example, imagine that we don't have Nahida. You can play Kaveh here, and on the other hand you can play, for example, Yao Yao, which it will be super amazing if you need a lot of, because you need a lot of healing. So yeah, this is another team that you can play. You can also change Q obviously for Kokomi, Barbara, or even Jelan. If you have it, you can almost play almost every Hydro unit here. And finally, but not less important, let's talk about the Curry team, the Bargion team. It's actually super great on him. You will generate some seeds. You have to be careful to not explode them really fast with your E. And I think this thing can be a bit tricky to play. I don't think it's that bad, but it can be a bit tricky and sometimes a bit clunky to play, I think. I don't know. In paper, for me, seems like the fact that Kaveh explodes the seed really fast. Maybe Toma is not able to make the bargain on them. You can also always obviously play this version with Shell Link, because Shell Link explodes the seeds really fast, but I don't really like Shell Link on version teams. But yeah, this is the team, and let's get into the last team of the video. Okay, I know I talked about Nilou Bloom, but I want to talk now about Kaveh Bloom. Since Kaveh is gonna be able to explode the seeds himself, and he's like a cheap Nilou in comas. Okay, don't get me wrong, he's really good. But since that, I think you can play teams like this on him. It could be great. Since you don't have Nilou, you want to play Bloom teams, you can play this type of teams. You can even play freeze, hyper freeze teams, like for example, instead of the Dendro DMC, put here Kaya. There's my Kaya here. And you will freeze the enemy and also trigger Blooms. Or even if you want to make hyper freeze, you can put here Kuki Shinobu, and you will have a hyper freeze team, which is actually really good too. But yeah, keep that in mind that you can play now freeze teams without being really troll. Actually, you can play the way that freeze teams are better is with Genyu and full energy recharge Genyu with bonus bow, sorry, and all of that. So yeah, and yeah, this is the last team. Thank you for watching the video. Please leave a like, subscribe. It helps me a lot always to make more content on YouTube. You know that you help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm with this type of videos and liking them. So thank you so much for watching, and see you guys next video. Bye bye.